Welcome to a Couple of J's podcast. I'm your host, PJ.
And MJ,
And we've been gone for a little bit, babe.
a week.
About a week.
Took a week off.
What we been up to?
You know, if you can't tell.
So we just got a new location. So this is where we will be hosting our pod from now on. This is where we'll have guests. We're still doing a lot of renovating, and it's coming along.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah, we're very excited about it. Just going up from here.
Yeah. Got a lovely new couch. We love this. Got a really good deal on it.
Everything new.
Yeah, and we got some other things in store for an announcement later on. As soon as everything is cleared, locked in,
Yes.
contractual and stuff like that, it's gonna be really big. Stay tuned for our next couple of guests. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got some
sure.
good guests coming on.
for sure.
So today's topic, I really want to touch on this thing because it's been kind of heavy on my mind. Are you really friends if only one person is doing the reaching out? What do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
I think this has been on kind of like both of our minds, honestly. I had to reflect in my life at one point, not too long ago, where I'm like, I feel like in some cases I'm the only one that's like reaching out or something.
Yeah,
And I had to stop and say, I don't work like this. Like,
right.
if I'm going to build a friendship with you
Mhm.
or any type of relationship with you, it should not just be me, like coming to you with plans or do you want to do this? Oh, you know what I mean? Or like checking in. That's with family, friends. Like,
Mhm.
I
Why
should.
do you feel like that? Like if you genuinely care for somebody and you genuinely like them having them in your life, like why would that matter if they don't do the reaching out?
I feel like there's like two different cases.
So guys, we're in the hood. So we go hear ambulances, cars driving by, Puerto Ricans blasting their music,
Yeah.
all types of stuff. So if you hear any of that in the background, just
Yeah.
zone it out.
Yeah. I feel like there's two different ways to go about things and there's two different
Yeah.
situations. So there's the one situation where if you're just meeting someone
Yeah.
type of thing and it's like it was a mutual like meeting up or getting to know each other and doing things like that's a little different from someone who maybe has been in your life a little longer or has already established that friendship. I feel like in some way, I feel like when you've already established that friendship, and you find yourself to being the only one reaching out.
I mean, me personally, I'm actually experiencing this as we speak. And it's so crazy because like friends, family, all that, like
Yeah, it goes
wh-
for all.
I'm always in a position where like I'm either supporting someone or helping someone, and then when I want that same when I expect, I guess you could say, that same reciprocation back, and it's not there. It does leave me to question the sincerity of the relationship and the friendship, and if it's genuine.
Or yeah, or
Because and the thing is, like, I don't have any expectations of them having to reach out to me or check up on me or anything or
right.
support me or anything like that. But I think that in any friendship, you want your friend to win, or you want them to succeed in whatever it is they're doing, or you want to know that their well-being is good, right? So naturally, you're gonna reach out if you really care and think about that
Right.
person. So sometimes you have to step back and analyze the situation, and sometimes that means you not reaching out just to see.
Yeah, because I feel like it first starts with realizing it's not being reciprocated.
Right.
So when you're the one that's always constantly reaching out, and you could look at your messages, like you could look at your phone calls, and you could see like, oh, I've been the only one making the effort, and I feel like that's what's important. Is like
Right.
For there to even be a friendship or any type of relationship, there needs to be effort on both ends. If I feel like I'm the only one putting in the effort towards a relationship or friendship starting off, or one that's already been there for a long time, there's no, I'm good. I feel like, especially in some cases, like, let's just say starting off as a friendship,
Yeah.
I'm not the one. I would tell you that right now. I don't care to have you in my life. You don't mean that much to me, especially if you're like just like we're just establishing something.
Right, right,
You
right.
have no importance to me. The reason why you're here is really just because we're working towards something. What is this? What type of friendship are we establishing?
Right.
Now, I'm not going to figure that out by me being the only one. Like, hey, do you want to go to the coffee shop? Or, hey, like, you know what I mean? It's just not
Yeah.
going to work like
Yeah.
that, because then it's like, I feel like
But
I'm
do
coming to
you
you and I'm the one that's like, I want you here. I don't want you. I don't care. And
right,
that's my thing. It's like, I don't want you to ever think that I need you or want you here.
right.
You're a plus. Like, anyone that's in your life is
Yeah,
always
but then in that,
a
and but
plus.
don't you think in that case when you're entering it in a way where like I don't really need you here, or it doesn't matter if you do reach out, or that's not genuine and that's not sincere. Like when I create a relationship, I feel like I genuinely care about this person, and it would be nice if they cared about me the same way. But a lot of the
Uh-huh.
times, people are not the same as you, and so
Right.
you can't look at them like they're gonna handle things the same way you would. You can't look at them like they're gonna go about the relationship the same way as you would.
Right.
Because I know that I have friends that I'm years and years of friendship with that I don't speak to maybe 3 4 months, and then we get in contact, and
But I
it's like we never left.
but I want to say, I feel like some of those friendships you just understand.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where
Yes, and also too, like even if I didn't speak to them for months or whatever, the support is there. Like especially with our podcast, like
right.
the support is there. They're liking my shit. They're
They're
supporting
showing
me
up
in
in
other
other
ways.
ways. They're
Right,
showing up in
right,
other
right.
ways. And that's why I say, again, there's a difference between, like, it's just so many different ways this can go. There's that friendship that is, like you said, like, you could call in every year. Are you good, girl? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that's great. Love
yeah.
you. And then you understand that.
But that's probably after a strong bond has been
Right,
established.
right.
Yeah.
But when you're working towards that,
Hmm.
I'm not, for me personally, that's not how I work. If we're, like I said, if you're building anything, this is even, let's say, relationships.
Yeah.
Do relationships work out when only the woman is the one putting in the effort, or only the man is putting in the effort to keep the relationship going?
But that also too, like sometimes relationships work in the cat and mouse game. So sometimes it could be like a
But
cat and mouse game.
this is no cat and
No, no,
mouse
I'm just
game.
saying like sometimes girls like to be chased or men like to be chased nowadays, right?
Right.
So both parties, will balance each other out. So typically a woman would want to be chased by a man, so the reciprocation level is uneven.
I feel like it doesn't even go like that anymore.
Well, nah, nowadays
Like,
dudes are starting to know their worth and they're not chasing a goddamn thing. And they're going into their spirituality, talk about like, nigga, I don't chase, I attract. That's a 2024 from 2020 on is I don't chase, I attract.
I don't
I
think.
was one of those people where I understood like, oh shit, like people are gonna leave your life when you're reaching a different level of frequency, and then other people will enter because
Hmm.
for the longest time, I'm like I'm losing friends and people around me, and I'm by myself, and I didn't think that I would find my people. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And eventually, I found the people for me,
Right.
and now I'm in a different frequency,
Yeah.
and it's back to I'm not really hanging out with people, or not really
Yeah.
doing much, and and I do believe that another energy will enter my life that's
Yeah.
gonna be more relevant to my lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
one thing about spirituality is when you are going through it and you're in that process and you find friends like that, like some friends stay stuck in that, and that's okay. Like,
Hmm.
but life requires a certain amount of responsibility,
Hmm.
and you have to be responsible and hold yourself accountable so that way you can live this life properly until you find something that can allow you to have the time to bask in your spirituality in an extreme level, so for me, my life didn't require that. My life required me to take some accountability, take care of my responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
and take care of my household. I
Right.
can't just be out here hiking every day and living spiritually and carefree
And
when I got
yeah.
shit that I have to handle. Unfortunately, that's just how life works.
Mm-hmm.
And until the world gives me something to take care of that part of my life so that I can have the allotted free time to go back into that, um, then that's I would love to go do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
But yeah, I mean, overall with that, like I said, it just goes different for certain things, and I feel like when it's just like a in and out thing every 3 to 6 months or whatever.
right, right.
That I feel like
Hmm.
you establish that relationship and it's mutual on both ends. And when you are going into something new with someone, or whatever,
Creating like a new
yeah,
friendship,
a
new
new
relationship.
friendship, I feel like there
The
should be
the
no
energy
cat.
has to be
It
reciprocated.
has to be, and that's important. And I feel like some people forget that. And if you know what I mean, I feel like if that's just something that you're just not that person,
Hmm.
then I want to know that. Like I want to know, like, it will make me kind of be like, okay, well, that's not someone that's not the type of friendship that I'm looking for. Like, I'm
Right.
not looking for this to be one sided. Because one thing about me, as I'm going to always say, is that I'll step back and I'm going to be just fine.
That equates to you knowing the value of
Right.
yourself.
Like,
Like once you know your own value, you're like, I'm not gonna sit here and reach out,
if,
and that could be a little bit of ego too.
but it feels like, yeah, because I feel like I'm chasing. And I'm like, no, I don't chase, baby. Like you said, I don't chase, I attract. Like, even if I'm someone who probably put in the effort first, right? If you're gonna give that back, it's reciprocation. That should never change. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? If I've had a long friendship with someone and it's always been that way, where I can come in and you come in and we're texting and it's a constant in and out, maybe every 5 days or something. Like, again, I'm aware.
What about those relationships, those long relationships that you had, and then you guys haven't saw each other for years, and they move, and then you go to reach back out to them after a couple years that you haven't saw them, and then they're acting different. How, like,
Yeah, you get left behind. Like, I understand that life happens and that people change and that everyone has their own journey, and maybe you're just no longer, or maybe I'm just no longer a part of your journey in your life
right,
anymore.
right,
And that happens. We're all
yeah.
like caterpillars. Like, we're just continuing to grow and to grow out of that cocoon. I guess. We're all growing out of it, so we're gonna outgrow people, and that's the beautiful thing about life,
Right.
is that we outgrow people and
Things, places.
we out all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
only just shows your growth, and that's amazing. So
Hmm.
it doesn't hurt. I mean, sometimes it can in certain situations, right? Like,
Yeah.
because some people still attach and hold on to the old memories or what things used to be like,
Hmm.
but you have to understand too, like, that's just a part of life.
Yeah.
We have no control over that. You know what I mean?
They say like you have to know when you're in your story, and then you have to know when you're a part of someone else's story.
Oh yeah, and I feel like a lot of the time I've noticed I feel like I could see when I'm in someone else's story and
Right.
when I make a impact or a difference in someone else's life
Right.
compared to when they're doing it for me,
Yeah.
or if it's mutual.
How do you feel about somebody that doesn't make it makes a negative impact in your life? How do you feel about people that leave you worse than they found you?
I just feel like it's a lesson. I feel like even if if I don't understand it,
Yeah.
I just always take everything as a lesson and I have to learn from it. Either to not do it again, like this is a trap, if I ever see those signs again,
Yeah.
to back up, walk away from it, run for my
Right,
life.
right.
What would you say? How do you
I
know?
think it's absolutely necessary to
Yeah.
experience that.
Yes.
Like you have to experience um those negative relationships, because that is going to steer you on the way you're supposed to go in life, right?
Always.
So like if I know that I've gone through a toxic situation or relationship or whatever, I know the signs to stay away from that if I don't want to involve myself in it. And also too, I could recognize it to for future references.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think those experiences are so necessary. And again, like certain people could show you things that maybe we attach to for so long because maybe we love the person, maybe they're just our best friend, or maybe,
Hmm.
there's just something so strong about that, strongly, some strong emotion towards that person, right? But then if you start to see those patterns in them, the reason why you may have finally left them alone
Right.
is like, this reminds me of something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like my memory's coming back. There's something that
That
isn't.
trauma is crazy.
There's a
That tra-
lot of red flags here.
yeah, yeah.
But that's the good thing about it, and we either learn or we don't, but
Right, right.
that's just based on you as a person.
The it's crazy because that leads me into, right, wanting to control the next relationship because just to preserve my own emotions.
Right, to protect your own
Yeah, like so like
emotions.
now I see something and in the next relationship and now I'm trying to correct it as soon as
Oh
possible
yeah.
or make it a big deal when
Oh
it
yeah.
probably wasn't as big as a deal as it should be, but I'm going to go ahead and make this such a big deal that this shit never happens again
Oh
and I'm going to let you
yeah.
know that I'm traumatized by it.
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
You do. You do. And
Yeah.
I've always been like, well, damn it. Why?
Like you get it's funny
Why?
because like the healthy relationships sometimes gets
The
the shitty end of the stick. But because in an unhealthy relationship, you don't know how to set boundaries.
right. So you're just fucking getting tossed around and everything is
Yeah.
just
So
free.
now when you find yourself in this like healthy state of mind and you have a healthy approach to the next relationship, now you know boundaries.
Boundaries.
So now it's like, all right, this sucks because I don't want to be this way with you, but I have to set my boundaries and I have to let you know that these things these things will no longer ruin me and I have to notice those signs.
And that's self-love. But sometimes for the for the other partner it could be like, well, damn, this isn't even like
But I don't believe in trying to control someone just to preserve your own
right.
emotions. Like
Right. I
like
think in that I think that's the hard thing in with today is that a lot of us have so much trauma
mhm,
or been hurt by other people so badly that when we go into the next thing, the next friendship, the next relationship, we constantly dump that trauma on someone else, and we're
mhm,
trying to protect our heart, and we're trying to protect, ourselves from getting hurt like that again. I'm
right.
trying to immediately put a stop to anything that feels familiar to
Yeah.
the trauma that
Yeah.
we went through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or for it to even get there, because imagine the pain, imagine the hurt that you went through the first and the second and whatever.
Mhm.
Like imagine going through that again, and it's just too strong of a feeling.
Right.
Some people get hurt so badly they like, I can never go through this again.
Right.
So when they decide to put themselves out there again and they find someone that's just like, oh, they're perfect, but here we go.
Mhm.
What if he cheats? What if he did me like this guy? What if
And
he
now I'm just trying to go hang with my friends and in the back of your mind you thinking
he's
I'm
cheating
cheating
on
so
me?
you can't go hang with your friends, right? Like that's so
Yeah, and then
unhealthy.
in constantly putting like things on the other person,
Yeah, that's so unhealthy.
and it's unhealthy, but it's also something that's also very normal, that
Yeah.
happens a lot, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they're what they're doing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Again, I just think the thought is it's no harm. We're just trying to protect ourselves.
Right.
It's no harm towards the other person. It's just we want to love again,
Mhm.
but what if, you know what I mean? And it's how do we not get into that space? How do we let go is the question,
Yo, it's so crazy
and just let
because
be.
my trauma, I've gotten cheated on, and what I learned about getting cheated on, what I learned from that was I learned to let things go and not control. Like allow people to do what they want,
Hmm.
allow people to be who they're going to be, and move accordingly.
Right.
Right. So instead of I went like total opposite.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I went
that's
like I don't.
You went right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna understand and to read the signs, and I'm gonna look for the things that I need to look for in your personality and your behavior and your actions. I'm gonna allow you to be who you want to be, and then I'm gonna determine whether or not I can be with you
Right.
or have a long term relationship with you.
And no one really works like that. Like not the majority
Right.
works like that.
The
Every
maturity work like that.
like the no, but
The mature work like that.
I don't know. I just find it crazy how the world works again, how people work.
Yeah.
You know, you'll
Hmm.
either get that person that's going to constantly dump on you the trauma, or you're going to get someone that's like, do you?
Hmm.
And like, when do you really hear someone say, no, I'm going to let you be you?
Right.
I'm going to let you show me who you are. And I'm going to take that emotion, however that is.
Right.
And that, again, as I think is the hard part for people to do,
Yeah.
is
I
that
think
pain.
I think it's the best way to approach any relationship in the beginning. And I say that because when you try to control someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who they really are, and you can't really so now 2 3 years down the line, this person wants to break out of that, and they start doing these random things that you're not familiar with in their character. You're going to be kicking yourself in the ass like, damn, I didn't know that this is the person that I was dating. Now if you allow someone to be who they're going to be and act the way they want to act, you take a step back. You don't allow your emotion to get in, and you just observe. And when
Mm-hmm.
you observe, you can see whether their actions, their behavior, how they treat people, is tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
And if it isn't tolerable or isn't a match or it doesn't match your frequency, you move on and
Yeah.
you be mature about it, and you let them know like, yo, unfortunately, this relationship isn't gonna work out. Like I don't see
Mm-hmm.
myself long term in this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Yeah.
think it's important to date and important to allow time to pass and not
Yeah.
rush into anything.
Yeah, when you're deciding to
Right,
take on one person,
right.
to really go through the motions
And
with
pay
them.
attention to energy.
Yes.
So like I may say to let you know my intent, like in the beginning of our relationship, I was like, I want to be with you. But
Hmm.
that was me making my intention clear that like
Right.
I'm gonna make you my girl, but there's still a trial period that I'm left observing, and
Hmm.
whether I can be in this relationship long term with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still in the observation mode.
and and to me, I'm just like, yay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I
Like
never
you're gonna
thought like
know
that.
you're gonna know like you're the only person I want to see. You're my
Right.
only focus, and in order to do that, it's gonna be like you're my girlfriend. I'm gonna make you my
Right.
girl,
Right.
right? That way you know where my intention is.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? So now after I make you my girl, it's time to watch.
Hmm.
And it's time to see,
Can I say
where,
something
where this
though?
shit goes.
For someone who is not used to being in long-term relationships or relationships at all, still mature but still young minded in some ways, or was never taught these things,
Yeah.
you go into it
Mm-hmm.
like you just when I mean you go through the motions of it,
Yeah.
you're just going through it like blinded a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not thinking about the depths of, okay, now let me speak for my side as a woman. Now that I'm his girl, let me see how he is. Let me observe and sit back and see what he's showing me. Instead, I'm gonna tell you
You're just
this.
all lit.
Instead, I'm just in, and we'll go with it. Like, I don't know how this shit works.
I
so
think most people don't know how to work. I think there's very few
right.
people who take my approach. My approach is just something that I had to logically think about as an adult, like on what would be the best scenario to approach a situation. The way I approach it doesn't mean that it's correct. It just means that this is my way. Because and that's why I told you in the beginning, I'm like, listen, I may not develop those emotions immediately,
Right.
right?
Slow
But
burn.
as I continue to date, as we continue to date, as we continue to get to know each other, as we continue to build, those emotions will develop. So therefore, my actions will reflect that.
Yes.
You know, I don't like being fake in the beginning.
It doesn't mean fake, but I feel like some people are just so,
Not because you haven't
well, when you understand yourself and you understand relationships, then yeah, now you know how to go about it. And that's why I say,
well,
like,
also too, I'm not buying you flowers and rubbing your feet and
love bombing. Yeah.
doing all these things to make you think that this is who I am and I'm gonna be consistent with
Right.
this. Like those things will come as I gradually get to know who you are and I develop those feelings and we naturally connect in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
And once we are in that emotional state to where I feel like I want to do those things
Mm-hmm.
and not I'm doing those things because I know that you're gonna fall more in love with me.
Right.
I think I think for me that works for me because
That works
one
for
it comes
me.
off authentic and then I'm not feeling like it's a job.
I prefer that from a man
Right.
than you giving me everything and making me fall for you. Because listen, women will fall,
Right.
and then they're stuck,
Right.
and then those emotions get involved, and then it becomes toxic. You know what I mean? I'd prefer to get it all in a way of, like you said, basically slow burn. I'm not gonna just give you everything to make you fall,
Right.
but you're gonna see through time, and I think
Right.
that's the beautiful part of it. If you can actually see a future with someone.
I think authenticity is rare and not too many people have
Yes.
it, but I do think that each person handles their authenticity different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In what ways?
Where so like where I'm a slow burner, maybe someone who's authentically really in love with you
Just gives you the
just
platter.
gives it to you right there
Yeah.
naively,
Mhm.
but they just give it to you right there because that's all they know and that's what they're genuinely feeling. The problem is we have narcissistic people in this world
Mhm.
and they know how to play that game.
Mhm.
They know how to play the I'm gonna give you everything and then
Mhm.
once I've got everything that I get from you, I'm gone.
I honestly feel like I'm more of a I'm gonna give you everything, but not because I'm trying to make you fall in love with me. But like you said, I genuinely feel like this right now. So
Right.
I want so if I'm feeling it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of being I'm not a slow burner, but or
Do you
when
think that's how you will operate forever? If let's
uh
say, God forbid, let's not put this out there, but let's just let's say for hypothetical
and you said
reasons,
God forbid.
God forbid, me and you we end up not working out.
Hmm.
Do you approach it that same way? Are you going to approach it in a way where you give your all, or are you going to be more observant?
I think that depends on the man. I think it depends on the guy.
Okay.
And I say that because do you make my like do you give me those butterflies right away to make me really feel like I really want to do this for him? Or are you someone that's like, all right, he seems more laid back and observant. Let me reciprocate that energy
But
to
what
see
if
what he's
what if they're bombing you with everything? Are you gonna take that as, oh my God, this person loves me, or are you gonna be more
I'm
observant?
gonna be aware. I'm gonna be observant. I'm gonna be more aware. I'm gonna be more
So would you
observant.
say that you're only like that? You were only like that because of your lack of experience, and now that you're more aware, you're kind of approach
Definitely.
it a little bit differently. You're gonna approach it.
Definitely lack of experience.
Yeah.
Definitely just going with my feelings and what I
Right.
was
Right.
feeling.
Yeah.
And the butterflies and my heart just shall I
Yeah.
go
No.
on?
No. Because this is for a lack of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
This is
but
just hypothetical. We're not. We're gonna be together for a pretty long time.
no, no,
Yes.
but no, but I'm speaking like on a real note when I was with you,
Yeah.
like how I felt with you.
Hmm.
You know, you were that man that made me feel like I wanna like I just again, it was obviously the lack of experience, but it was the way that you made me feel.
Okay.
So I think everything depends on your situation and the person that you're
Hmm.
dealing with or want to deal with. Because not everyone's going to make you feel like you want to give this man the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
That's
you
not every
thought you
case.
thought you was gonna get me with knowledge, but I got you with knowledge.
What you mean?
You thought you.
My brains was going to get you? What do you mean?
Just kidding. Woo, that's over her head. Anyway,
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little slow sometimes.
so now that we're in this new building, I know that you don't like to talk about your next moves, and so my question to you is, why do you feel like keeping your next move a secret is beneficial to the outcome?
That's just kind of like superstition. I feel like I whenever I have told someone something before it happens, it just never went right.
You don't feel like God has ordained these things for you, like because you've asked the world that these things are going to happen. There's no one that's plausibly going to be able to stop you from obtaining it.
It could postpone it.
And
Uh,
don't you feel like if it does postpone it or if it does stop, that's just the direction it was supposed to go in? Because we always say like if it's not meant to be, it's just not meant to be, right?
yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of, so everything we speak, everything we do, we manifest. So if I go tell someone something and they're telling the next person, but they're speaking badly about it, that's manifesting into the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I would see it in that way. It's like someone else is manifesting the negative,
Hmm.
regardless of my positive. You know what I mean? So, and then especially if you're someone's chatting with someone else, it's double negative. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I never really thought about it like that, but I've just from my experience, anytime I anytime
Yeah.
it just never went right. It just never went right. Anytime that I was excited about something and told someone, and it scares me today to do that, and I have been a little bit, with what we have going on.
And I'm so opposite. Like I like to tell the
Yeah,
world, and only because I'm like, when someone tells me something that they're doing, I'm like, that's so great. Like I hope nothing but the best for them,
right.
and I always want them to succeed and accomplish those things. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Like keep. I'm
Yeah.
more of like I'll cheer you on.
I would love to tell everybody everything that's going good for me.
Hmm.
But that's if I had good experience with doing that. And I didn't. Like I just like I don't know what it is.
Like,
That's
is that like a measurement that you've taken like throughout time, or like, all right, this
yes.
experience, this experience, this experience. Every
Yes.
time I told someone,
It's
have you
just
not
caught.
had experiences where you told someone and it still happened for you?
I feel like as I started getting older, I just became so aware of it that I was like, I just became mute. Like I just didn't even try it anymore. So being with you, as someone who likes to tell the world, you scare me. You scare me. I'm like, get that away. Shush. Shush. Because even when you do it, I'm like, I told you. I told you. I told you. Like, because like life is just so crazy. You can lead up to the last, to the very last
Yeah,
thing that you need to succeed and make it to whatever it is, and that can go as quickly as it all happened.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I just don't trust it, and I don't play with it no more. I don't play with it.
at all.
I don't play with it. You could play with it, but
I just be play. For me, I just feel like if I'm sharing something with obviously someone that I'm maybe close with or I feel like I'm friends with, I would hope that they would want the best for me.
and sometimes I don't think it's even sometimes the people, because we can go to the people who we know truly loves us and wants the best for us. I don't know what it is. Is it just saying it out loud? Like is it supposed to just like all the energy is supposed to stay inside of
When you
me?
tell someone in the back of your mind, does your subconscious say like,
Ah,
dang, I just told this person
yes.
this shit might not happen now. So
Yes.
maybe it's your subconscious that's
Or I'm like
manifesting that outcome for you rather than you actually saying it.
it could be.
Like because when I tell someone, like I said, I'm like I'm cheerful about it. I feel like they're gonna be happy for me. I feel like they're gonna want to support me because that's what I project and that's what I give out. I'm like always happy for people, and there's been people that have opened up businesses, and I may not like what their business is, but I'm gonna go support and I'm gonna go spend money on it, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
show them that I'm like, because to do that is very hard,
Mhm.
especially when you come from nothing.
Yeah.
So even if your product or whatever it is you're doing does not benefit me or is not something that I'm intrigued or interested in, I still love to show support because that's just the kind of person I am. I want everybody to
Yeah.
succeed. Like it's so hard to work a 9 to 5 and not be happy and not make enough or not be walking in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that feeling. So like when somebody steps out of their comfort zone to go do their thing, like, bro, I'm all for support. Like I love when people do that, especially
Yeah.
when they come from the same thing I come from.
Right.
That makes me more happy than anything, because it just it's just like God telling you, like, it's possible.
Yeah, and I think some people finally get to that point where they're like, I'm gonna step out my comfort zone, and that takes a lot to do.
Yeah.
But what you said about like me telling people in my superstitions or whatever, I think that goes back to say like I'm protecting myself, because if I'm very happy and I'm telling everyone with all this excitement
Mhm.
and I have all that energy going into it expecting nothing but the best,
Mhm.
and it all ends up just like crashing, I think I'll be very disappointed.
Mhm.
And everybody knows, not everybody's aware, and that's just
Yeah. But that's
again
just, yo,
protecting.
that's just life though. Like I feel like when you're gonna go approach something, like not everything's always gonna work out in your favor, and not everything's meant to be the way that is supposed to be. That may
Yeah.
not be what's meant for you. So like the fact that you even stepped up and approached the situation, and like that you once thought was impossible, and now you're starting it, or that once was in your head an
Yeah.
idea, and you're doing it, whether you are excited to tell someone or not. Like I just think it's dope when you're in action and
Yeah.
you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like
And I feel like that's with anything. That could be with taking a test. Like, I got really scared about that,
mhm.
freaking told my boss what I was doing, and I'm like, she sounded like she was about to go tell everybody. I'm like, oh, you done messed my life up. Oh, you messed my
Yeah,
life.
I think part of manifesting is your subconsciously manifesting as well.
That
And
could be
that's
it.
just as powerful as your voice.
And so I'm gonna work on that, and then I'll
Yeah.
come back to you guys and see if
Yeah.
if anything's changed.
Yeah. so so yeah. So I think that when you are manifesting, you have to work on your subconscious and make sure that you believe it with your voice, you believe it with your mind, and you believe it with your subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's constantly,
That third eye.
yeah. Um so anything else? I think this was pretty much 40 minutes, I think.
Let's see. What tone was that?
Cuz we did 30 minutes in that one
Yeah.
thing, right? So as we close our podcast, as we close the ending of this podcast or whatever, we want you guys to stay tuned. We have big announcements. Like I said, when contractually everything is solidified and good, we're going to announce some things. And the guests that are coming up, they're very intelligent and intellectual guests. So, that's what we're going to try to pretty much do on here. We're going to try to have people who can interpret and articulate their experiences, their thoughts, their perspectives. And we can't wait for you to share more with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So till next time.
Till next time on a couple of J's
Yeah, and we're
podcast.
gonna have like a little couple of J's thing right here.
See, you be talking. This is me.
They can't stop that. That's just a purchase. Bing.
No, because they get cancel again.
Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah.